All right. Well, here we go.
Have I really known you for 10 years?
Yeah. Can you
My
believe that?
God, it feels like dog years.
I know. It's been a long time. All right. Anna Navarro, it is Thursday, December 11th. We've got one more week of shows ahead of us before the Christmas break.
Don't look so excited.
I mean, I'm ready. But I'm thrilled to have you here on Behind the Table. Let's start with President Trump for a change. President Trump said Wednesday that the United States had seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, which is only escalating tensions with the country after the 20-plus known boat strikes since early September. What do you make of this?
I think this is another escalation in the campaign to drive Maduro out of Venezuela and to conduct regime change in Venezuela. And as I've said over and over again, Nicolas Maduro is a loathsome, hateful dictator.
Yeah, you're really torn on this, I think.
Yeah, no, listen, it's been, Venezuela has been under dictatorship first by Chavez and then by his successor Maduro for 25 years.
Right.
They have ransacked and pillaged the country's economy. They have oppressed people. They have jailed people. They have killed people. They have held American hostages. I mean, it's, they have destabilized the entire region. They are buddies with people like Iran. They help countries like Cuba and Nicaragua by giving them cash-strapped countries that they give oil to. So Maduro is a bad actor. I would love to get rid of him. I would love for Venezuelan people to be able to live in freedom, democracy, and justice. And let's just remember that it wasn't too long ago, just a few months ago, that there was an election in Venezuela and there was a legitimately elected leader, the man standing in for Maria Corina Machado, the woman who just won the Nobel Peace Prize, that won. But Maduro stayed, refused to accept the election results, sound familiar, and stayed by force. And there was a lot of pressure on him back then from the international community to leave. One of the things that bothers me about these actions that we're doing right now is that we are going at it alone. Frankly, there should be an international community effort to drive Maduro out. I think Trump's mistake here, or I think something that he misjudged, probably under the advice of Marco Rubio, is I think he thought it would be easier to get rid of Maduro. Listen, history books are filled with stories of dictators who have taken their bags of cash, their families, gotten into a plane and gone and lived their lives out in exile, whether it's Somoza from Nicaragua or baby Doc Duvalier, who lived out his life in France, Batista in Cuba, Assad. This is the commonplace, that when dictators find themselves cornered, when they're being told you're either going to get killed or extradited or spend the rest of your life in jail or, leave in a coffin, they decide to leave in a jet and go live their lives. Maduro has resisted. We've now been droning boats off the coast of Venezuela for months. There's been 80 people killed. We have 1/4 to 1/3 of all U.S. Navy assets at a cost of hundreds of millions of dollars to U.S. taxpayers off the coast of Venezuela. And he still hasn't left. So they need to keep escalating this. And I think Trump is in a catch-22 now, because I think deep inside, he doesn't want to go into Venezuela. Trump campaigned against getting entangled in foreign wars.
Right.
But on the other hand, he's now been doing all of this for months. And what's he going to do? Just pick up his toys, his U.S. warships, and leave after months without having accomplished the ultimate goal of removing Maduro? So, and now he's getting scrutiny, bipartisan scrutiny from Congress for these illegal double tap strikes that killed shipwrecked survivors. Actually, the seizure of this oil tanker yesterday is the first thing they've done that makes sense to me, because it's done under some cover of law. It's done under some statutory regulation, under some jurisdiction. They went to court. They got a federal warrant. This is a vessel that had already been sanctioned. It's called the Skipper. It was sanctioned under a different name in 2022 under Biden. there are sanctions against this oil transporting of illegal oil to places, from places like Iran and Venezuela. So there is some legal cover of law justification to do what they did yesterday. There is no justification to drone fishing boats allegedly filled with cocaine that they've shown us no evidence of off the coast of Venezuela. And so I think they just keep ramping the temperature up in hopes that Maduro picks up and leaves. If he doesn't, then what are we going to do? We're going to either have to go in like they did with Noriega in Panama and pluck Maduro out of there and stick him in a U.S. jail for the rest of his life, or you're going to have to drone Maduro and kill him, and he's going to leave Venezuela in a coffin or a plastic bag of rubble after he gets droned, like we have done with terrorists. But I just feel like we are at a point where Trump is too far in to leave and save face. And if there's something we know about this administration, is that they are full of hubris and arrogance. And when they feel they've misjudged something or made a mistake, they never admit that. They double down. Again, I'm probably in the minority of Americans. I would love to see regime change in Venezuela and in Nicaragua while we're at it, and in Cuba while we're at it. But I think Trump has gone about this all wrong. We should not be doing it alone. And now he's gone as far as threatening the president of Colombia. He basically said to the president of Colombia yesterday, I hope you're listening because you might be next. Listen, I don't like the president of Colombia, but he's a leftist who sides with people like Maduro. But Petro is his name. He was legitimately elected. There's a bunch of leaders in this world who I don't like, or who we as a country don't like, who may be anti-American.
But they're the result of democracy.
But they're legitimately elected. And what are we going to do? Just start plucking leaders off because we don't like them? What I would like to point out, though, is that as we're speaking, the opposition leader who had been in hiding in Venezuela, Maria Corina Machado, who won the Nobel Peace Prize, she'd been in hiding in Venezuela for 2 years, hasn't seen her kids in 2 years because they left their country. She was able to get out of Venezuela in the last couple of days and made her way to Oslo to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. She didn't get there in time. And apparently it was in a hell of a cloak and dagger U.S. operation where a deportation flight flew into Venezuela to drop off Venezuelans getting deported. And she somehow was able to get onto that plane as it was leaving, full of U.S. diplomats. And she's now in Oslo. She is an incredibly courageous woman. So unlike some other places where we have done regime change and then put in some generals, there are actually leaders in Venezuela, or Venezuelan leaders, who have been legitimately elected by the brave Venezuelan people. And what also doesn't make sense to me is that at the same time that he is threatening covert action against Venezuela because Maduro is such a bad guy, at the same time that he's got all of these naval assets off the coast of Venezuela and is, threatening military action in Venezuela, he is deporting Venezuelans, most of whom have no criminal record. He is removing temporary protective status from Venezuelans who have lived here for years, working and being part of our community, who fled the Maduro regime and oppression. So make it make sense, please.
All right. So, if you have a prediction.
If I have a prediction, I think he's too far in right now.
So you think we might go to war?
Get out? Well, I don't know what I think he's going to try to escalate this more and more.
And
Listen,
try to force him.
Without oil revenue, Venezuela is is over a barrel.
Yeah.
Frankly.
No pun intended.
And no pun intended. And then he's gonna run out of money. And I mean, at some point, I think the hope is that that he feels the noose around his neck tightening, and he makes a decision of taking the offer of safe passage and getting out of the country.
Metaphorical noose.
But
yes.
I don't. yeah, political
Yeah.
news, but I don't know, or God knows, because I mean, if they do covert actions,
Yeah, you don't know.
I mean, which is illegal, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Going into a country covertly and taking out a foreign leader is
And not a precedent we want to be involved
is
in.
illegal.
Yeah.
Well, it's a precedent we've done before, but
Yeah.
it's been a while. But the other thing is that by taking out this oil tanker, he's diverted us and distracted us from talking about, which is legal in my view, ceasing the oil tanker.
Yes.
He's distracted us from talking about the illegal stuff they did,
Right.
which is a double tap bombing of survivors on a
Fishing boat. Yeah.
in Venezuela.
All right. So there's a lot to get through here, so I want to keep talking. Let's talk about the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Today, a federal judge ordered the immediate release of him from immigration detention. Remind people of this case and the significance of this. I feel like it's been going on for so long.
This case is nuts. It has been going on for so long because, as I just said to you, when this administration makes a mistake, their reaction is to never admit it and double down.
Right.
And so this is a man, a Salvadorian man who has lived here for decades, who has 3 U.S. citizen children and a U.S. citizen wife, who they grabbed in their immigration raid and they sent back to El Salvador, despite that there was a judge order that prohibited him being deported back to El Salvador. Initially, they alleged that he was part of MS-13 gang. There's no evidence of that. Remember, that was that fake AI picture of Abrego Garcia's hand that they showed with the MS-13 on his knuckles. That was photoshopped. Then the judge ordered that he be brought back here. He got brought back here, and they indicted him for some human trafficking things, human smuggling thing in Tennessee, and he's been held under that. They have said, the administration has said that he will not be free in America. He will not, that if he sets foot here, he will never again be free. And they have been trying to deport him to Africa, to some African countries. I now know of people, mostly Cubans, who'd been in this country for a really long time, who have been deported to Sudan and Eswatini, which is incredibly cruel to send, somebody from El Salvador or Cuba or one of these countries to a country where they don't speak the language, where there is a civil war going on, where there is extreme poverty, and where they are in prison in probably infrahuman conditions. So they've been trying to deport him to Africa. It's all been getting fought out in the courts. And today, the court had enough and said, you've got to release this guy. Now, I am sure this government, full of arrogance and hubris, is going to appeal and do everything they can to continue making an scapegoat and an example of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who, like so many of the immigrants that were deported to that hellhole in El Salvador, or that have been deported, like the vast majority of the immigrants, does not have a violent criminal record. When you take out things like traffic records and the immigration transgression, there's no criminal record. So the idea that Donald Trump is going after the bad hombres, the idea that Donald Trump is going after the worst of the worst, is a bald-faced lie. It is completely untrue.
The trafficking charge that he met with had been dismissed years ago, apparently. I'm a little fuzzy on the details of it.
I think he was stopped.
Yes.
Apparently, under the suspicion that there were other undocumented immigrants in the car. I think he was stopped. I think he was never charged. I don't think he doesn't have any conviction, and he has never been he had never been charged with anything until he came back and they drug out this old arrest from years before, and they indicted him under that in Tennessee. The whole thing is ridiculous. It's all fabricated and made up, and this family and those children are suffering tremendously, seeing their father jailed. And, what pisses me off to no end is that these people who wear giant crosses around their necks, quote the Bible and clutch the Bible, are part and parcel and accomplices in this vindictive campaign against this man just because they don't want to admit that they deported him erroneously.
Yeah, I got some clarification here. So he was brought back to the U.S. in June to face human smuggling charges in Tennessee, to which he has pled not guilty. And as of now,
yeah, but those were human smuggling charges that the administration charged him with, that he had never been charged with.
Correct.
And he was brought back to the United States not to face human smuggling charges. He was brought back to the United States because a judge ordered him back to the United States.
And this is how they've kept him locked up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Something that you'll be a little happier about, I think, and that you've been watching very closely, is the mayoral race in Miami, this is kind of extraordinary.
That blew me away.
A Democrat, Eileen Higgins, won it with an almost 19-point lead over Trump's pick. This is the first Democratic mayor in Miami in many, many years. Decades,
I had forgotten that there were Democrats that could win. But you know something, though? When I first moved to Miami, I've lived in Miami for 45 years. I got there as a kid. But I remember Miami, everybody in Miami, the mayor, the senators, the governors, everybody was Democrat. Florida and Miami-Dade were very much blue. Then we became a purple state, remember? Tim Russert, Florida. It's about Florida. And then now we are a red state and a red county. Trump won Miami-Dade by 20 points.
Right.
Miami-Dade, the county. And I tell you this story because I think it proves a lot of times people take for granted and just give up on, oh, Texas will always be red. Oh, Florida will always be red. Well, I'm telling you that in my lifetime, Florida has gone from blue to purple to red. And it's because of backlash. It's because of good campaigning. It's because of parties doing a lot of legwork and building structure and coming up with a good slate and stable of candidates. So what happened in Miami just blew me away. It has been 30 years almost since there has been a Democratic mayor of Miami, the city of Miami, which is within Miami-Dade. The city of Miami in 2024 was practically tied between Kamala and Trump. Kamala won it by like 0.5%, by less than a percentage point. And on Tuesday, Trump, who inserted himself into the mayoral race the same way that he did in New York, right? He tweeted in favor of this guy. He told everybody he was fantastic. He told everybody to go out and vote for him. So he got right in the middle of this mayoral campaign, as he is wont to do. He got grossly and resoundly rejected by the voters because the Democrats are energized, and instead of navel-gazing and playing possum and playing dead, they got out there and they voted. This is not only the first Democrat elected in 30 years, it's the first Anglo. Miami is 70+% Hispanic. So this is not like a candidate who fits the city just so well. This is not, Mondani, who ran a campaign that was so charismatic and he had such great social media. This is, a nice Anglo lady. In Miami, they refer to her as La Gringa. I don't even think most people know her name, who was just the woman running against Trump's endorsed candidate. It's literally been 30 years since there was a Republican. It's been even longer than that since there was an Anglo as city of Miami mayor. So people so badly wanted to get rid of the Trump endorsed candidate that they voted for a white person. Actually, she was a county commissioner for 2 terms, representing part of the city. But understand that this was a 20-point shift.
No, that's a big deal.
That happened in Miami. It went from 49-49 in 2024 to 60-40 in favor of the Democratic candidate. And I think it's a shot in the arm for Democrats across the country.
Maybe a bellwether, yeah.
It should also be a red flag for Republicans that they need to find their purpose. They need to find their spine. They need to come out and stand up for their constituents and not just dedicate their lives to rubber stamping everything that Trump does. And remember, Miami has been ground zero for some of this immigration crackdown. We have seen our friends and our neighbors and our colleagues and people who we know and we work with and we see on a daily basis be snatched and disappeared. We've seen Venezuelans have TPS taken away. We've seen Haitians have TPS taken away. I mean, the term I hear the most from people in Miami-Dade who supported Trump is se le fue la mano, which means he's gone overboard. He's gone, it's too much.
All right, let's switch gears for a minute. There's a story that caught my eye for you because you have a birthday coming up. An influencer said that she changed her daughter's birthday because it was too close to Christmas, and she's getting mixed reactions to that online. So she just decided arbitrarily.
How do you do that? How do you change a person's birthday?
I don't think it's done on the birth certificate. I think she just decided, I'm going to tell the kid that you're born a different day.
Maybe I'll do that.
You could do that.
So I was born December 28th.
Yes. How do you feel
and
about
I
this?
always, I
Not a
hate
fan.
it.
Yeah.
And I always tell all my friends who are pregnant around Christmas time, who are like due around Christmas time, that they should pop that kid out. They should induce the birth and pop the kid out, at least a week before Christmas.
Yeah.
So I am stuck right in between New Year's and Christmas, right? I'm December 28th, which, to make matters worse, is April Fool's Day in Latino culture.
that's
In
rough.
Latin culture, it is, and it is called the Day of the Innocent Saints.
Oh.
So there is no more inappropriate day for me to have been born than the day dedicated to the innocent saints.
I know this
El
from
Día
Modern Family. I've
de los
watched it there.
Santos
Yes.
Inocentes. So it's April Fool's, the Day of the Innocent Saints is the 28th. So everybody is bankrupt after Christmas, hungover after Christmas, preoccupied with what they're going to do on New Year's, on vacation, not here. So my entire life, I was not celebrated, which I think may explain a lot.
Yeah.
Like in school, when I was in school, the moms would come in and with cupcakes, and we'd do a
Right.
birthday celebration for everybody's birthday. Mine always fell when we were on vacation, Christmas
Even here,
vacation.
even here, yeah.
I've been shafted my entire life, and then people only give you one gift.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel bad, and then I think of like Ricky Martin. His birthday is December 24th, which
Okay,
is
that's
Christmas
worse.
Eve for Latins. And my friend Ken
For
Gorin,
Anglos, too.
whose birthday is because Anglos celebrate December 25th.
But Christmas Eve is a big deal.
Yeah, but Latinos celebrate December 24th.
Oh, everything's all right. That's fine.
We eat at night December 24th.
We do too. We do the 24th and the 25th.
Well,
I'm Italian.
and I have a lot of friends who are like in my same, who are
so you
Capricorns.
get together and do this?
We should
Yeah.
get together and just like
forgotten
celebrate
birthdays.
ourselves, the forgotten bunch.
See, my birthday's August 30th, which was always a good. I like the 6 months before kind of Christmas and
Were
everything
you
else.
in school?
I was not in school. It was like the end of summer. It was the dog days right before we
But
went back.
nowadays, kids are in school August 30th.
They are. It depends on where you live in the country. But I get shafted here because nobody even. You guys are all on vacation. We're back at work. You're on vacation. Nobody even knows. I'm lucky to get a call from any of you. Occasionally, Joy will call and sing me the song, but that's only because someone tells her.
And she probably calls by mistake.
Yeah, and we all have the same assistant, so I think maybe the assistant should let you guys know when it's my birthday. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little hard up. All right. I saw this week that you were hanging out with many of your famous friends, including, say it with me, folks, Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan. But it was
And Emily Estefan.
and Emily. Oh, this is a new one. I didn't even know that we had Emily. But it was to see
And LaTanya Jackson.
LaTanya Jackson, wife of Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, and an incredible actress
Broadway,
and director
Tony
on her
Aware.
own.
Yeah, she's fantastic. But
Right.
For me, Samuel Jackson.
Oh, that's right, because he's a, what's it called?
He's in
Avenger.
He's Nick Fury.
Marvel?
Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And he's also a Jedi in Star Wars. I mean, it really hits me everywhere.
I've watched none of
Jules
these
from Pulp
movies.
Fiction. You've seen Pulp Fiction, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, there you go. The path of the righteous man is beset
And
on all
also, we
sides.
were with our very good friends. All of us share these friends. John Davis, who is the producer, John and Jordan Davis, the producer of Song Sung Blue.
Oh, we're having Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson on next week.
I'm going to the premiere tonight, and I'm very excited because I have never heard Whoopi Goldberg rave about a movie
She
the way
loved
she
this.
is raving about this movie. And everybody who has watched it said it's absolutely fantastic. It's coming out, I think, Christmas Day.
Yeah, so...
Maybe I could go watch it for my birthday.
No, there you go. It all works out.
No, I'm watching it tonight. But yeah, no, we all went out to dinner. And, I say this all the time, and I really mean it, that we need to find moments of joy and community and just be together and celebrate. In fact, when Kamala Harris was in Miami and she was at that speaking event with me, she said joy is a form of resistance. And she wasn't just referring to Joy Behar. She said
Also a form of
finding joy
resistance.
and celebrating and being happy because they want us to be weighted down. They want us to be distressed and in angst. So feeling joy, being together with friends, I think for me is crucially important at this time. And so we had dinner on Tuesday at a fabulous place by Chef Jose Andres that he just opened, which is very meat forward. So you would like it.
I enjoy some, yeah.
But yesterday I went to see. So this to me for me was fascinating because I'm now like a Broadway person, which I had never been. This is like a newfound thing for me. And I had never been to the workshopping of a Broadway.
Oh, it's a really cool experience.
Play.
I've done that
Right.
once.
So Gloria Estefan and Emily Estefan, her daughter, are the first mother-daughter team to team up in writing a Broadway musical. And it's fantastic. It's called Basura, which means trash in Spanish. And it's based on a true story. And listen to this, because this blew my mind.
Yeah.
So this is a story of, incredibly poor kids in Paraguay living on a landfill. And, the people that make the parents make their lives by picking stuff out of the landfill trash and selling it. And they started an orchestra. They were able to, their teacher was able to put together the instruments, and then they were stolen. And they were desperate, and they made the instruments out of trash, out of things they found in the landfill. So a violin, a viola, a cello, all of these things, a guitar made out of recycled instrument trash that they found on the landfill. And they have played all over the world. They are called Orquesta de Instrumentos Reciclados de Cataure. The place is called Cataure. So it's called the Orchestra of Recycled Instruments from Cataure. They've played here in New York. They've played in Rio. They've played in Washington, D.C. They've been in Miami. So it's these young kids. It's a story of resilience and perseverance and seeing opportunity where you think there is none. And it was so inspiring and uplifting. And I love that the music was like a combination of Paraguayan music and classical music and Phil Collins music, all played on these instruments cobbled together from trash. It is fantastic. I cried, and I'm dead inside. Yeah. So to make me cry takes a lot. I laughed. I was singing along because I knew some of the songs. It was absolutely terrific.
Oh,
and what
really
I was
exciting.
watching was, I don't know if you've ever done this. It was like a reading, right? So it's.
I went once to one. Yeah.
Oh,
it was very
how
cool.
fantastic is that?
That's really cool.
It was fantastic. I cannot wait to see it on stage. It's going to premiere actually in Atlanta on May 30th. It's going to run in Atlanta May 30th through July 12th at the Coca-Cola stage at Alliance Theater. So I'm going to go.
That's great. Well, if it makes it to Broadway, and I'm certain it will, I'm sure I'll go with my family.
If it makes it to Broadway, we're bringing them on The View.
Sounds good to me.
To do a segment because
that'll be great.
It is extraordinary. Whoopi's going to love this.
Did you ever play an instrument?
Well, my mother tried to get me to play the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I tortured that piano teacher until my mother gave up, which was like when I tell you I tortured this man, But I have no musical ability, which is why it is so important that I have friends with musical ability, because I can't sing, I can't play. Can you?
I can't really do any of those things. I can sing a little bit after a couple drinks at a karaoke bar, but my daughters can sing, which is great. My father could sing.
We go back to the issue. Are these really your daughters? These redheaded, talented,
yeah, it's a valid
incredibly charismatic children.
I don't know. They take after their mother, except she can't sing either. I did play the string bass as a child until...
Were you any good at it?
Well, no. I was in, I think, 6th grade, and I was carrying it to a recital, and I tripped and fell in the hallway of the school and landed on top of the string bass, shattered it into 1,000 pieces. My father had to pay for a new one for the school, was furious.
You could have made one out of trash.
I never played it again. Yeah, so that was it. But, yeah.
So that was the end of your musical career?
That was the end of my musical career right then. All right. That's all the time we have for today. But Monday, we'll be back behind the table with, wait for this, Whoopi Goldberg's back.
No way.
That's right.
How'd you get that?
She's gotten the bug. She enjoys behind the table now. Who knew?
Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you. I mean, I wouldn't bring it up to her, but yes, this is big. Yeah.
This is this is your
This is
your
my
early
Christmas gift,
gift.
100%.
And birthday gift that she didn't remember.
She actually, you know what, Whoopi, I have to say, always sends a gift.
Whoopi is the best gift giver in the world.
I get Father's Day presents from Whoopi. She's very sweet. All right. And I'm not just saying that so she'll do the podcast more. We'll see you then.
Behind the Table is executive produced by Brian Teta. Supervising producers are Nathan Getty and Summer Shade. Associate producers are Emily Darcy and Katerina Alexopoulos. And our editor is Brian Davis. Our digital coordinator is Molly Kaiser. And director of publicity is Laurie Hogan. From ABC Audio, Trevor Hastings serves as senior producer, with director of podcast programming Josh Cohen.